Thank you very much, Ariane. Mercedes Fialba, can I ask you to speak to Amendment 43 and any other amendments in the group? Mercedes.
Thank you, Convener. Very pleased to speak to Amendment 43 and my other amendments in the group. And again, I would like to thank Community Land Scotland and the Scottish Parliament legislation team for their support in drafting them. The bill, as introduced, makes it clear that provisions for land management plans, lotting limits and transfer tests apply to single, composite or contiguous landholdings. Now, as it stands, this means that non-contiguous landholdings over the threshold will not be subject to the effects of the bill. This means a single owner of multiple holdings that amount to many times the size of the large landholding threshold would be unaffected by the effects of this bill. Yet the stated purpose of the bill is to address the national concentration of land ownership across Scotland. And the Scottish Land Commission find that aggregate holdings and complex ownership structures do pose challenges for transparency and applying the provisions in the bill. Therefore, my amendments 43 and 47 remove the limitation that holdings must be contiguous, thus removing loopholes around non-contiguous landholdings and ensuring aggregated landholdings over the threshold are included in the scope of the bill. If agreed to, these amendments would ensure that aggregate landholdings are included within land management plan requirements, prior notification requirements, public interest test requirements, and would remove the loophole of landholdings being severed by infrastructure. This will remove the requirement for landholdings to border each other and ensure that large landowners of multiple holdings across the country are in the scope of the bill. Amendments 43 and 47, taken with Amendments 122 and 125 in Group 10, and Amendments 140 and 145 in Group 12, therefore remove loopholes on contiguous landholdings and include aggregated landholdings. A later amendment, 182, in the name of Bob Doris, Group 16, introduces a duty on Scottish ministers to regularly review these thresholds. It's vital that we future-proof the legislation to sustain the direction of travel towards greater diversification of ownership. Therefore, my Amendment 109 amends inserted Section 44M 2016 Act to specify that, quote, the regulations must not increase the number of hectares that the land must exceed in order for the obligations/prohibitions to be imposed on the land. Amendment 109, taken together with 133 in Group 10, and 171 in Group 12 ensures that thresholds cannot be revised upwards. Labour supports Amendments 3 and 4 in the name of Ariane Burgess, which seek to lower the threshold to 500 hectares, something I've long campaigned for and which we welcome the Greens' support for.